welcome to another adventure of Wisman Ranch. Today, I'm going to show you how to go from this to this to this, finally ending with this. So stick around, because it's coming your way. Woo! When we tap a tree, we usually take a drill bit and drill into the tree at an angle right here, about 1.5 to 2 inches, depending. If you hit any type of brown wood that comes out after tapping, it's usually a sign that the tree is rotting, so you don't want to utilize that tree. But basically, once you get it in there, you take this tap right here with the tubing, tap it in till where it stops. I use a rubber mallet. Then I drill a hole into the bucket here. As you can see, the little bubble right there, there's some sap that's dripping in there. But anyway, it'll collect. We usually check it twice a day. And you want the temperatures to be below freezing at night, above freezing during the day. That helps the sap to push up through into the trees. And once that's done, it goes into the bucket. Bam! There's your beginning of sap. If you ever tasted it, it's like a very mild sweetness sap, water, I guess. So you just sugar water, but not so sweet. You can use it in coffee, tea, whatever you want. It's a natural sweetener. So from there, we collect all the sap and we put it in these buckets. There's a 55-gallon drum. We've had them filled up already a couple of times. So we're finally down to this one right here. This one is pretty full. But I'll dump it out, or I'll take it out with the pitcher right here. So I'll dip it in there. I'll take the strainer and I'll dump the water through the strainer into this first pan. The reason I do that is to get any bark or bugs or something that might be into the sap. Then I take that, bang it off on the side. This is the back pan. This is the one where the actual syrup cooks down, the sap cooks down. So I'll take the foam off, bang it off on the side. But there it is right there. This cooks down quickly. And then once it starts cooking down, then I'll dip this into here and I'll dump it into here, and the process starts all over again from dipping it into the barrel, back to this, back to this. Now, we'll continue boiling both of these down until there's hardly any sap left, or we get to a point to where this we think can't be boiled down anymore. Then we'll take all of this, we'll put it into a pan and bring it into the house, and that'll be our next step. But this is an evaporator that we made homemade with a Dremel tool and a Sawzall. We just get our wood, jam it up in there, and we just keep it cooking. We don't cook at night because we learned the hard way that you can't really control the burn and all that craziness. And we ended up losing a gallon early in the season because this back one boiled down to pretty much burnt candy, and it was disgusting. So it set me off. I let it go. Now we're starting all over again. We have roughly a gallon or so inside of the house, and I'll show you that, so hold on. Once the sap boils down to that point outside I showed you, we bring it in here and we put it in this big, huge pot. I like it because it reminds me of the military pots at the chow hall when we were deployed. They'd have these big bags, these big pots full of water and whatever. So anyway, we put the sap in there until it starts to boil. We'll let it burn down, actually cook down, until the temperature reaches 217 to 219, depending on your your above sea level. Yes. So anyway, it's going up. This is just about there, so it's at 215.2, 0.3, somewhere in there. So what you don't want to do is you don't want to take it any earlier than 217, 218, depending on the height above sea level that you're at. And the reason you don't want to do that is because once you take this and you pour it through a filter and into the jugs, eventually it's going to end up molding and getting all yucky. And you don't want that. So when we get ready to pour it down in through the filter, I will show you that and the bottling process. So stick around. You get it? Stick? Because this is sticky. Alright. Well, it happened. I hit 217, actually it was 218.2, and the syrup was boiling over that pan. It was flustering because I was in the other room trying to do creamed honey. But anyway, these are the microfiber filters. I used 3 of them. I poured the syrup into here, and as you can see, it is slowly draining out. But this microfiber filter gets all the yuck out of it, a majority of it, and that's that. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this syrup, I'm going to pour it through a honey strainer into another smaller container. That way it stays protected. And then I'm going to scoop it up into bottles. And by the way, my wife reminded me that it's altitude. So whatever your altitude is going to depend on what the boiling temperature, the syrup temperature is going to be. The best way to do it is to get like a, I don't even know what it's called, but probably a candy thermometer that'll tell you exactly where what is. I use a digital thermometer and it's been very successful for us. But anyway, regardless, that's it. So as soon as I get ready to bottle, I'll show you. And that goes right into the bottling process. Bam, it's done. So stand by. So here I am filling these up. I'm taking roughly 3 scoops and putting it into here. That's 2. And then basically, once I get it all done, it'll actually be filled up to that point, and then I'll put a cap on it. So I'll show you real quick. Grab a cap. So I'll wipe the edges, which I haven't done yet, but I'll wipe the edges. I'll put this cap on there, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. So I wiped it off. I have this here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it over here, and I'm going to set it on its side. So I'm going to set it on its side, so that way it'll help to seal this right here. I'll leave it on its side until it's cool. And from there, it'll actually go to this right here. All right. Well, that's it. Everything in a nutshell. Out of all that batch I just cooked down, it was 7.5 16-ounce containers. If it had been 8, it would have been 1 gallon, but we'll take that other half of container and we'll use that for our own use, and the rest are there. I'm sure there's things that I've skipped and whatever, but it was just a quick thing to get this out there. Give a shout out to my son Gabe, because he's like, Dad, when are you gonna make another video? All my buddies want to see it and blah blah blah. Okay, here it is. It's for you. Also, Serge, I know you're in the background back there watching, saying hoo 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 hoo. Shout out to you and your newly promoted wife. Good job. Make sure you understand she does wear the pants in the house, even though you pretend that you do when you're away from her. Ha ha ha. All right. Other than that, if I'm missing anything else, I apologize. But love and kisses to all of you. This is Wissman Ranch. We out!